The screen says now boarding. You check your gate, hold your ticket tight, and walk toward the airplane. After the security check, you pass duty-free shops, people rushing to gates, kids hugging stuffed animals. You walk down the jet bridge and enter the aircraft. The cabin smells clean. The lights are soft. You find your seat, seatbelt clicked, safety video plays, engines start humming. Out the window, the airport looks calm, but behind the scenes, hundreds of people and machines are working to take just you and this plane into the sky. This is not just a flight. It's a perfect dance between pilots, computers, radars, airports, and control towers. Today, we'll discover what really happens during a complete flight, from check-in to landing. Hello and welcome back to ProjectNOTOS, the channel where we explain how the world works in a clear and simple way. From science and history to airplanes and machines, we show you how amazing things really are. If you enjoy learning and discovering new things, hit the subscribe button and join our community. This will really help our channel grow. Thank you so much. Today's journey, one complete flight from start to end. And to make it fun, you'll follow it through the eyes of a very special passenger. A passenger who knows exactly what's going on, every step of the way. Ready? It's time to take off. Your flight begins long before you board the plane. While you're home packing your bags, the airline is already preparing. Most large airports handle over 1,000 flights a day. That means tight schedules, fast decisions, and a lot of coordination. The aircraft is checked by engineers who inspect the tires, brakes, hydraulic systems, and flight computers. Fuel troughs connect to the wing tanks. A typical short flight uses around 3,000 to 5,000 liters of fuel, while a long flight can require up to 100,000 liters or more. In the background, Air Traffic Control (ATC) is checking your flight path, reviewing wind data, storms, and traffic in the sky. The flight plan is filed digitally. It contains waypoints, altitudes, emergency airports, and timing for every phase of flight. The pilots receive this plan on a tablet or flight computer and enter it into the aircraft's navigation system before departure. At the terminal, passengers go through security and get scanned. You arrive at the gate, where staff verify passports and scan boarding passes. At the same time, the pilots run a full pre-flight checklist, checking systems like navigation, radio, weather radar, engine pressure, and fuel load. Once boarding is complete, the aircraft doors are sealed. The pilot contacts ground control using VHF radio and requests pushback. A tug vehicle pushes the plane backward safely because airplane engines cannot reverse on their own. After pushback, the pilots start the engines using the APU, a small turbine inside the tail that provides power when engines are off. The plane now taxis toward the runway. This movement is not automated. The pilots manually steer using a special nose wheel tiller. Ground control gives instructions to avoid conflicts with other planes and vehicles. At the runway, the pilots switch radio frequency to tower control, the team responsible for everything that happens on and around the runway. Tower controllers clear each plane for takeoff and landing, making sure there is only one aircraft on the runway at a time, with safe spacing between departures. They also check for last-minute hazards, like birds, weather changes, or runway debris, before giving the go-ahead. When the tower says clear for takeoff, they have just coordinated one of the busiest zones in aviation, down to the second. Now the engines can go full thrust, typically around 120,000 newtons of force per engine on a big jet. You feel the push. In about 30 seconds, the plane reaches 250-300 kilometers per hour and lifts off. Takeoff is one of the most carefully controlled moments. After the wheels leave the ground, the landing gear is retracted and the aircraft contacts departure control. This other team helps guide the climb and adjust the route to avoid traffic or bad weather. Interested in knowing how an airplane is able to fly, how lift, thrust, and wings really work? Check out our full video on that topic after this one. I'll leave the link in the description. At about 35,000 feet, that is 10 to 12 kilometers up, the plane levels off. Now the autopilot is activated. It maintains heading, altitude, and speed. But don't worry, the pilots stay alert. The aircraft flies along an airway, like a highway in the sky. These invisible paths are full of waypoints, which are GPS coordinates with names like Daga or Nexon. The airplane is tracked constantly by radars, or by ADS-B satellite signals in remote areas. The aircraft might pass through 5 to 15 different ATC zones, especially in international flights. Every zone and off means switching radio frequencies and confirming position. It's like passing a baton in a relay race, but in the sky. Meanwhile, cabin pressure is managed by bleed air systems. Outside, the temperature can be -50 Celsius or colder, but inside it stays comfortable. A plane burns 2 to 3 liters of fuel per second at cruise, which sounds like a lot, but per passenger it is often better than driving a car. About 30 minutes before landing, the descent begins. The pilots contact a new controller, arrival control, who manages all incoming traffic. Speed and altitude must be reduced gradually. Descending too fast or too early wastes fuel and can be uncomfortable. During descent, the aircraft may enter holding patterns if traffic is high, flying circles at set altitudes until it's clear to continue. When it's time to line up for landing, the pilots extend the flaps and slats, which are surfaces on the wing that increase lift at lower speeds. The loud thump you hear, that is the landing gear that comes down. At this point, the aircraft locks into the ILS system, a precise radio signal guiding the plane to the runway, especially in fog or rain. Pilots can land manually or let the auto-land system do it if the weather is poor. The aircraft touches down at around 250 km/h. Spoilers on the wings pop up to reduce lift. The engines use reverse thrust, special doors that redirect air forward to slow the plane. Brakes engage, often using carbon brake discs with anti-skid systems like in cars. Once off the runway, the plane switches back to ground control, who guide it to the correct gate. Jet bridges connect and the cabin door opens. But your flight isn't over yet. Behind the scenes, the final phase begins. Ground staff immediately start working. Technicians read flight logs and check the black boxes that record every sound and data point. The aircraft may need a 45-minute turnaround before its next flight. Luggage is unloaded, catering is restocked, and the lavatories are clean. If something failed or broke during flight, mechanics are alerted through fault codes sent by the aircraft's central maintenance computer. The pilots fill a post-flight report, and the air traffic logs the landing. In 1 to 2 hours, the plane might be in the sky again. Even if you have flown many times, there are still things you might not know about what's really going on around you when flying. Here are some fun and surprising facts about modern air travel. At any moment, there are over 10,000 airplanes in the sky worldwide, and they're all being tracked and guided in real time. A pilot may talk to 15 different control centers in a long international flight. Air traffic controllers can only manage a certain number of planes at once, usually between 10 and 20, to avoid overload and ensure safety. The cabin lights are dim at night for a reason, to help your eyes adjust in case of an emergency evacuation. Every commercial plane has 2 black boxes, one for data and one for cockpit audio. And no, they are not black, they are orange. All communication between air traffic controllers and pilots is done in English, the global language of aviation. The next time you fly, look around. Every step of the journey, from check-in to landing, is part of a global system built to be fast, safe, and efficient. Behind every flight are thousands of people. Air traffic controllers, mechanics, engineers, ground staff, and pilots. And now you know what really happens during a complete flight. Thanks for flying with Project NOTOS. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. What surprised you the most about your last flight? Tell us in the comments, we would love to hear your story. And until next time, keep wondering, keep flying, keep learning.